What's going on, Fortnite fam? This weekend's Fortnite action was out of this world. From the Division 1 finals to the Reload Elite Series finals, there were so many ups and downs. From roster changes to rosters returning back together, there's so much to talk about, so let's jump out of that battle bus and into the action. First up, the Division 1 finals for NA Central. This is where I feel like I get a treat week after week, getting able to watch and cast the action on our personal streams with Aussie Antics. So if you guys are watching this from YouTube, mine is twitch.tv/JacobMVPR. On Saturdays, you guys can tune into the action or any cup for that matter. But this is where I get to treat because the NA action has been crazy as of late. Muzz and Sphinx this time around 391 points. They were playing out of this world. Through 5 of their 6 games, they didn't place outside of the top 6. They ended up getting a win. They ended up getting a 2nd place, a 5th and a 6th as well. They pulled up with 32 total eliminations. In that last game of the day though, and this is where you got to kind of remember this for later on in the video, they went down in 19th place with 2 eliminations. In this mode for regular duos in BR, it's top 25 where placement points start to get in. So they only got about 12 placement points right there, and then the 2 eliminations. So they barely got anything compared to every other game so far. And then Rapid and Kanata in 2nd place. That gave them hope. That gave them a chance to clutch up, along with Agers and Ritual as well. But unfortunately, Kanata, Rapid, they fizzled off towards the end of the tournament. Back-to-back 10th places, 3 eliminations at each. They are unable to really close the gap. Agers and Ritual in 3rd, 285 points. There were some inconsistencies through the mid-game where they went down in 42nd, kind of off-spot struggles, 22nd again. Not a lot of points throughout the games. They did get a 1st to bounce back, but then 29th to kind of end the day, so they're just kind of unable to close the gap. Acorn and Bolts through a new drop spot, 4th place. One of the games I know for sure they did go down off spawn, so really didn't get any points at all, but they got a 3rd, 5th, 4th. So again, I don't think they lose out on the drop spot switch up from Peterbot and Poyo taking the top side of that mountain. I know Acorn himself said Lethal Labs is a better POI, so it just maybe need a little bit more work over there, or maybe they just need it uncontested overall, because I do believe it was Curve and Craze that did move over to that side of the map. King and Rise. I always continue, thinking about the moments that I did have questions about Rise. How dedicated is he? How hard is he taking it? I guess he just needs somebody worth his time. And I think pulling up, getting 5th place, proving that, he's not washed, so to say. And I think that's kind of great because I think he's a great personality. I think he's one of the better IGLs in the game. So I think it's great that he's actually taking his time and being rededicated to the game, or seemingly so. You know what I mean? Virgo and Zavi, as I look at the leaderboard, or Javi, I should say, they're going to pull up and round out that. Again, consistency wasn't necessarily there. They pulled up and got a lot of their points throughout just 3 of their 6 games. So you got to imagine if they start to lock in and fix that consistency problem. Maybe it's the drop spot, maybe it's just the contested fights, or maybe it's just the zone pulls, but something needs to change. Just like our team in 7th place, Cold and Veno. Again, Veno coming on over from EU. I don't think we're getting the results that we've hoped from this duo. There's been moments of greatness, but I feel like they're just not living up to that hype that we've hoped. And remember that because Rostermania struck right after this tournament. We're going to continue to talk as Oliver OG is going to get 10th place, and then Peterbot and Poyo are in 9th place. Clicks and Higgs are going to be in 8th place. Clicks and Higgs outplays Peterbot and Poyo, even though there was multiple games where Peterbot and Poyo hunted down Clicks and Higgs at their drop spot. Remember, Clicks and Higgs had at Walkie Land, Peterbot and Poyo at that top mountain, so it's easy for them to kind of interact with each other, or at least Peterbot and Poyo be a little bit more of a nuisance to Clicks and Higgs due to the elevation difference. Shortly after the Division 1 finals ending, that's when Rostermania struck. I believe it was started by Rapid, actually. After winning Division 1 finals, getting 2nd place with Kanata, we kind of all knew it was going to happen. He went and switched up. Cold and him are now duos. Rapid and Cold already qualified for the Esports World Cup Finals through the Reload Elite Series Finals 1, and now they are duos in BR. I'm interested to see how this one goes. Rapid has had a hot streak. Cold is one of the best players in the game. We're probably all looking at this as one of the best duos in the game right now. Obviously, in history is a whole different conversation, but hopefully they live up to the hype. And this is where it leaves both Kanata and Veno stranded. They did play a Division Cup together, but no, they are not teaming up. Veno shortly after announced that he was playing with Peterbot of all duos. This shocked the world. Peterbot split up from Poyo, which caused a little bit of a heartbreak in my eyes, because it was like, Poyo waited for you, man. After you went on, played Valorant, did your stint, questioned, did you even want to play? And then he gets dropped on his head, and that was actually crazy to me for a moment. But then I realized this guy's got to play tomorrow, because remember, this happened after Division 1 Finals. They still got to play together in the Reload Elite Series Finals. I'm not sure how long that lasted, because then Veno and Curve announced they were to play together. So Curve actually dropped Craze, the BR duo, didn't choose Kanata, who was also a free agent, and his duo in Reload Elite Series to go with Veno. Veno was at a moment playing with Ree in both modes. It just caused like a headache. It was just like that scene out of It's Sunny in Philadelphia where you're just trying to piece it all together. But at the end of the day, I've always said that rosters are not set until you queue in together. No one is ever safe, but Peterbot and Poyo are back together. Veno and Curve are a duo, and Rapid and Cold are official. Rapid even locking it in with his announcement with Twisted Minds. Wow, right? And this is all before the Reload Elite Series Finals. Now on to the Reload Elite Series Finals, where 2 spots were up for grabs for the Esports World Cup later this year. And man, was this a roller coaster of emotions. So many teams touched the top of the leaderboard at one point. Competitive Reload stoked the flames of so many rivalries and even created some new ones. And it's just an exciting moment to be a part of. I got to call the action with Monster D-Face. Blake made his debut on the broadcast with Kelly and Zeke. I miss Vivid so much as well. I wish everybody could kind of be a part of it. But man, it was just a great time to be alive if you love Fortnite competitive. At the end of the day, though, Peterbot and Poyo returned to the throne, and remember, they returned back to teammates as well. 420 points, 4 out of 8 wins, 3 of those coming back to back to back to end the day, showing that, man, again, it is great to be a Fortnite competitive fan. He went on an elimination frenzy, almost going toe-to-toe with Cold and Rapid, who actually got second place, 403 points, in similar fashion like they did in Qualifier 1. Lots of eliminations early game, playing placement late. They didn't get a victory royale, but that would have certainly changed things, because there's a lot on the points on second to first place, and they got 2 second places. They got a third place, so you got to imagine if they were at least able to clutch up in some of those games. Muzz and Sphinx, this is where I said think back to later in this video when Division 1 Finals, they went down in 19th place, forced to watch it all. Well, guess what? They went into Game 8 with 310 points. They were on top of the world. They were on top of the leaderboard almost, and man, they went down in 20th place. They died off spawn. Well, that was a scary moment for them, forced to watch it all play out. And you had multiple teams within reach trying to get inside of that bubble. With Peterbot and Poyo, Cold and Rapid already inside of the top 2, that means that roll down effect, it's going to go to top 4 qualifying for the Esports World Cup Finals. And man, it was great. You had Clicks and Higgs doing everything it took to win and justify. They pulled a page out of the Peterbot and Poyo playbook. They tried to hunt down Josh and Iamzo. Muzz and Sphinx were already down. That was already team on the top of the list. They didn't have to hunt for them because the work was already done for them. So next on the list had to have been Josh and Iamzo. They were able to get the elimination onto Josh, but Iamzo found what could have been the God chest, the Dev chest, the exotic chest. It was absolutely crazy to get this lucky in a moment just like this. He was chased around the map multiple times, and this is where Iamzo, you know, kind of where I think it created more of a rivalry between Clicks and him and Higgs, and this is where it kind of gets great for fans of Fortnite competitive. But Josh and Iamzo were able to clutch out that top 4 spot, 290 points. Scaring Osid at 282. They got second place in that last game, and you got to think, just like Cold and Rapid, unable to close out any of those games, they got second place in the entire tournament. They died to Peterbot and Poyo. If they would have got the win alone, let's pretend they didn't get the elimination points, the win alone would have qualified them for the Esports World Cup final, and that goes to show how close it actually was. Jason Jargu at one point were inside of that region top 3 where they could have qualified because Cold and Rapid were there as well. So that was interesting to see that somebody as Jace that, you know, people on the broadcast watching the watch parties didn't necessarily know a ton about. Jargu obviously picked up with Genji, used to duo with King. We know how good he can be. It just kind of bummed out that they barely missed out by 9 points as well. And you kind of look at their games, they got multiple second places. And again, there's points, a huge point difference between the early on placements and the second to first finish. So if they could have closed those out, again, they could have been in the Esports World Cup Finals. Curve and Kanata, a team at one point that did get a victory royale, was in first place at one point, slowly but surely fizzled out in the tournament. And this is where you can kind of see Curve, Veno, that kind of leads to B, because maybe Curve just wants to be IGL'd by one of the greatest IGLs in the game and learn from somebody, which you can't necessarily be mad about if you're in that situation. Clicks and Higgs ending in 8th place. Valiant effort for them, 259 points. They try to take control of their own destiny. You got to give them all the respect, all the flowers in the world. Clicks and Higgs staying together yet again. I love to see it happen. I always think chemistry continues to build, man, and it only creates great things. But our top 2 teams, Sphinx, Muzz, Josh, Yamzo, congratulations to them. They round out 4 teams out of 8 going for NA Central. On NA West, though, you got to give an honorable mention in Act and Salco. They blew some teams out of the water to close the day out. Only 1 team from that region per qualifier goes to the Esports World Cup, and Act and Salco will be that second team. So those are our 3 teams for the Esports World Cup. Let me know what you think about all the action, all the roster changes, the drama, everything going down in Fortnite as of late in the comments below. I'd love to have that conversation. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe to the video, and I'll see you guys on that battle bus. Beep, beep.